Hope everybody's doing well today. It is Thursday, and every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I come live and I do something called Empower Hour. And basically what it is I'm a life coach on TikTok. And I'll come on here and I'll share some things that I've been thinking about. So today I'm going to touch on how to make lasting change in your lives. And as we prepare in 2 weeks, 2 Thursdays from today, because I'm not going to be here next Thursday, unfortunately, we're going to start this book, Unstoppable Self-Confidence, and we're going to go chapter by chapter each week. So the link to this book, if you're interested in getting it and going along with us, is in my on my link tree in my bio. You can also get yourself a copy anywhere else, or you can even go on eBay. Sometimes they have like used copies for cheaper too. But if not, we'll review the book together here, and you can just come on a weekly basis and get filled in. And we'll be opening a YouTube channel soon with some of these replays, so looking good and looking forward to do that. Today, how to make lasting change. You ever go or try to change something? Like, for instance, I always use diet because that's something that I try to do all the time. Go in and out of diets, like 100 diets all the time. And you start your diet, things are going well, 2-3 weeks in, and then all of a sudden you start to fall off the bandwagon. And it doesn't seem to stick. Any of these changes that we try to make, or these New Year's resolutions that we try to make, doesn't always seem to stick. And a lot of us can't understand why, right? But one thing probably does come up. Why? Right? Because we just can't do it, right? Or self-doubt. I can't do it. I'll fail if I try. I won't be able to do it. I've tried 100 times. It won't work. This, that, the other thing. Well, the good news is you're not alone with that feeling. And also that feeling is kind of misunderstood, right? Because what it took you to make that change, you required some behavioral changes. You needed behavioral changes to go along with it so that you could support that new thing that you're trying to do, right? But most often than not, it's self-doubt that kind of stops us from being able to shine. Our own self usually stops us from being able to shine. So today I kind of want to review a couple of tips, 15 of them to be exact, for how we can make sustainable change in our lives and what we need to focus on to make sure that we are successful with that goal. And I'm using a book called Cultivating Emotional Resilience by Elena Aguilar. It's a book that I used about a year ago with people on this channel before. And I'm just revisiting it because I was looking at this chapter in the appendix and I'm like, whoa, this was a really big learning opportunity that we kind of missed. So I kind of want to get and go through it with you guys today. So when you think about behavioral change, when you think about this stuff, what comes to mind? Often what comes to mind is self-doubt. I don't think I'll be able to do it. Think about salsa dancing, or how many want to try belly dancing? Anyone want to try that? Merengue, cha-cha, or even, a skill like climbing a wall or something like that, right? A lot of times when we don't see ourselves doing those sorts of things, it's hard for us to envision that we can even do it, if it's even possible. But tell me this. Last week, you all did it. Last week, when it was like the almost $2 billion lottery, right? All of you with your tickets sat there and you sure as heck thought about everything you could possibly have done with that $2 billion. Am I right or wrong? Right? But for some reason, when it comes to something like dancing, anything that requires us to be seen, we're a little more pressed to say, oh, we can't do it, telling us no, right? Meanwhile, when we're looking at things that are almost impossible, we have bigger dreams about this than anything else in life. So why is that? Why do we have that self-doubt? Why does it keep coming up? How do we get rid of it? How do we put it in check? That's what we're going to go through. So Elena Aguilar did some research and came up with these 15 things that I'm going to review with you today. So she first starts out and says, start with the end. Start with the end in mind. Start with the vision. right? What is your vision? Where are you headed to? What do you want to see happen in your life? What do you want to change? Imagine yourself living that change, just as you done when you had that lottery ticket with the losing numbers, right? Imagine yourself, what you would have done, what it would look like, what it would feel like, who would be around you, right? You thought about how many houses you were going to buy, what cars you were going to get, which friends you were going to support and pay their bills, right? You thought about all of that stuff. But when it comes to something simple, like being more confident in oneself or being more comfortable in your skin, our self-doubt gets the best of us, right? And the reason is because we don't dream enough. Okay, we need to start with the end in mind. Whenever it is that you want to change something, whenever it is that you want to fix something, you need to envision yourself in that world where it was fixed and try to breathe it, live it, imagine it, think about it. Where are you headed? Where are you going? What would you like to do? Right? What is it that you want to change? Does anyone here have a New Year's resolution or something that you wish to change this year? Well, one thing that I'd like to change is love myself more, right? I made that mention a few weeks ago. One thing that I wish for myself this year is that I would love myself more each day, more than I did the last. And that's difficult to do. It's difficult to do. But you got to envision what that looks like. What does that look like? Plan backwards is the second tip. So now we've envisioned what we would like to do, how we'd like to fix it. And now we need to figure out how we're going to get there. All right, well, now I know what I want to happen, but how am I going to get there? What do I need to do? So when you think backwards, you might want to think about things like resources, things that you would need, right? Things that you would need to be successful with this plan, with this change, of course. Narrow down what it is that you're trying to fix and focus, right? A lot of times when we're trying to change things, oftentimes when we're trying to change things, whatever it is that we're trying to change needs to be like out of this world, the best thing since sliced bread, right? Like nobody wants to be like, you know what I'm going to do this year? What? Oh, I'm going to buy medium underwear. No, that doesn't land well, right? Every single one of us want to tell a story, and we want to tell a story that's this huge thing, right? I'm going to get 50 pairs of Victoria's Secret underwear. That's what I'm going to get, right? That sounds like a better story than one or whatever. I know this is a terrible example, but hey, we're here, right? The train came here. But the point is that it doesn't need to be this large scale thing in order for you to change or in order for you to feel important, because what you're doing in that case is you're comparing yourself to others, but you're on your own personal journey. This is your journey, nobody else's journey. This is yours. You get to choose what it is that you want to do and how you want to do it. You don't have to listen to anybody else. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. That's not what we want to do. We want to do what you want to do. The first thing you need to do is you need to envision yourself in that change. And the second thing you need to do is plan backwards. Take a look, go backwards. What's something else you need to do? Make tweaks. You got to make little tweaks. Very few people, she writes, very few people are successful at making major behavioral shifts in one massive swoop. That's exactly what I was talking about. We want to make sure that the little things matter. These smaller changes matter. They all amount to big things. So sustainable new habits are built slowly over time. Slowly and over time. It takes a while for us to really develop these new habits. So, like for instance, let's say you want to take vitamins, right? But you can't remember to take vitamins all the time. So you need to pair this new behavior with something that already exists in your life to be successful, right? So during breakfast, right? You can take your vitamins, and then over time, each time you purposefully remember to take your vitamins during breakfast, and then over time it becomes kind of innate, it becomes a habit, right? We're forming habits. When you want to make a change, you need to form new behaviors. You need to make new habits. You need to change your routine, correct? So we need to make little tweaks, right? To sustain these new habits, we need to change things as we go. We need to constantly assess. We need to live it for a little bit, right? You ever make some changes, you kind of just want to coast a little bit to see how it goes? Like, for instance, me recently, I had to figure out something to do with my time, right? I'm trying to manage my time more effectively so I can be more active on the app, and then be able to, do some more videos and be, more visible, right? So I've been kind of stepping back a little bit and trying to see, well, where's all my time right now? Where am I investing my time? What are my current stresses? Doing a little check-in to see where things can fit. And I'm making little tweaks here and there, changing things on a schedule, moving things around so that I can open up new things, right? So it's the same thing. Every time that we're implementing something, it's not magic. I feel like any time we put in or try to go on a diet, right? We want to see something immediately. We want immediate results. We yearn for that. And we know we don't get it, especially when it comes to something like losing weight. It takes a while. There's a biological component to it. There's an evolutionary component to the reason why we don't drop so much weight, within the first 2-3 weeks of a diet, right? You don't normally start losing weight until after week 3 or 4, right? But yet we get on the scale, we know there's no change, and then we're discouraged. We're discouraged because we think that that's the measure, right? The scale is the measure. Well, yeah, it is ultimately the measure, but it's not to be used right away or that frequently. I know people who step on a scale almost every day. I'm like, why? What's the point of that? Why do that, right? Water weight in itself is 10 pounds, can go either way, right? You can go from 5 to 10 pounds changing between one day and another, especially if you're my size. If you're big like me, of course. Very easy to do, right? So you can't do things that are purposely going to discourage you, right? Why engage in those types of behaviors? So we need to make little tweaks as we go, right? Not everything is going to work out the first time. It's not always going to be the right way all the time. And sometimes we need to take a step back and kind of reflect, okay, why isn't this working? Maybe show some self-compassion to yourself. Express to yourself, hey, it's okay. We need some more time. We need to wait. It's fine. It's all right. Another tip, she says, is to fire up emotions. In a good way, of course, right? I mean, we have this weird relationship with our emotions, right? Sometimes we can sit in a space and just stew and wonder why we're sitting in the space, right? Then there are other times that emotions actually work in our favor, right? They actually can motivate us. Emotions can motivate. If you're fired up about something or passionate about something, think about teams, right? If you work in a team in work, or you're on a team in sports or what have you, right? You motivate each other through emotions, through, yes, let's get the win, right? It becomes this passion thing. It's something that everybody wants to do collectively, right? And then we tend to lean into these things more. We can use our emotions and change them instead of them being inhibiting and destabilizing us and paralyzing us from moving forward. We can actually change the way we use our emotions to our advantage, to get us to move, right? To get us somewhere, right? I mean, think about it. When you had that lottery ticket, the losing lottery ticket, right? From last week, that one person in Maine got it, right? All of us just were fired up, right? We dreamed about what we would do with all that money, how many houses we would buy, all the debt we would get out of, all of that stuff. We were able to do that, right? And it motivated us to want to stay up till 11 o'clock to find out what the winning numbers were, right? Gave us that extra boost, that extra push. Emotions don't always need to be these bad, daunting things. It really depends on how we utilize them. But one thing's for sure, You weren't just promised death and taxes in life. You were also promised to have emotions. Right? There's even more than just those two items that were promised in life. And emotions are one of them. And they'll get the best of us. They'll knock us down. They'll prevent us from being able to feel rewarded, right? Like accomplished. Like, you ever do something really big and then you kind of water it down? But everyone around you is like, great job, wonderful thing. And you're just like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you sort of like dilute the fact that this was a big thing. Because you're allowing your emotions to dictate that, it's mediocre. Wasn't that big of a deal, right? And then you kind of navigate through your life and you can't even use that as an example because you've already downgraded what the value it has or it should have had. Happens all the time. We miss so many of the things and so many of the accomplishments we had, right? Unless you go through an old box, maybe you can find like you were student of the month this year, or you were greatest reading achievement, or you said counted to 100, or you shot the furthest personal best baseball, right? Instead of the records being these like these kind of Guinness Book of World Record things, right? Let your measure be your personal best. Oh, I did a mile walk. I did it. It took me 18 minutes. I did it yet. I do it tomorrow. I want to make sure that it's 17 minutes and 58 seconds. And you know what? If I do it, I'm going to jump for joy. Why not? It's your personal best. It's better than you did before. Why can't you celebrate that? Why it's not a big deal? Because your neighbor down the block can do it in 7 minutes. It took you 17. So what? So what? This is your journey. Not your neighbor's journey. Not your journey with your neighbor. It's your journey. So if that's your personal best, it needs to be celebrated. Why dilute it? Why take away? Why take that away from you? That's a moment of joy that you just shot down out the window. So firing up your emotions, using them to your advantage, not to your disadvantage. We already know that they very much can take us down and tear us down. But we want to make sure we can use them for our emotions. Next is monitoring your mindset. This is a big one. Is the glass half full or half empty? Do you believe that you can change? Do you believe that you can? Do you believe you deserve it? That's a whole another question, right? Do you believe you even deserve it? She goes on to say the struggle of failure. The struggle of failure is a part of the learning process. We must fail in order to learn. And failing should not be viewed as this terrible, terrible thing. We learn valuable lessons in life when we fail. And if you don't, you'll make the same mistake again and again and again and again, and you frustrate yourself over and over and over again. How many of you have kids and you see your kids make the same mistake over and over and over again? You just want to why? Why? I don't get it. Why? Like, it stresses you out. You don't want them to make the same mistake over and over again. So we need to really monitor our mindset. Make sure that we're in the positive frame. And I mentioned last week about, our brains in general. Our brains are negative. They are. And don't tell me they're not. They certainly are. Why? Because it's evolution. Right? We were never really in houses before. We were supposed to be running around, naked in the bush, finding food, picking fruit from trees. Right? I mean, that's what we were supposed to do. So when we were out in the bush, we were constantly looking for danger. Yeah. Somebody going to hurt me? Is an animal, saber-toothed tiger going to come and grab me? No. We're a part of the animal kingdom. We look out for danger. Why do you think you overthink and think of the worst possible case scenario when something small happens? Well, because your brain goes there. And we allow it. And we entertain it. For hours. Hours and hours and hours until the anxiety pulls us and draws us and drops us. And we're like resorted to nothing. So we need to check in with ourselves every day. And because we know that our mind is already in the negative, no matter what, every time you wake up in the morning, right? I have a little sign over here. It says one small positive thought a day in the morning can change your whole day. One small positive thought in the morning can change the outlook of your whole day. And it's true. People ask me, how do you do it? How do you stay positive? How are you so chipper, all the time? Well, I'm not. That's the truth. But, for the times that I can control it, for the things that I can do, is I can either dwell on it and stress about it, or I could just let it go. Right? Is it going to matter in 5 minutes? Is it going to matter in 5 days? Most often, whatever it is we're talking about will not matter in 5 days, maybe 5 minutes, but not in 5 days. It goes over. It's over with. Right? We move on to the next thing that rocks our world a little bit. But we need to make sure that our mindset is constantly in the positive frame. We don't want to be discouraged. Don't want to be discouraged. Activate autonomy is the next one. Activate autonomy. Right? So that's the sixth one. So think want to get to, or rather have to, or should. Tell yourself, I want to take a walk rather than I should take a walk, right? I want to take a walk rather than I should take a walk. So think want, okay, instead of have or should, right? You don't have to walk. Oh, I have to walk. I should walk. I have to walk 20 minutes today. My doctor wants me to do it. Stay healthy. I have to do this, or I have to do this. No, you want to. Make it a want. Change the way you associate yourself with some of these things that you're trying to change that are good for you, right? Just a change in language can change the outlook all in general, can be helpful. So you have to activate that autonomy. You have to activate that to call it and speak it into existence. Yeah, I want to walk every day. That's what I want to do. And be mad when you don't, right? So that the next day, you get up and you actually get outside, right? You actually make the time for you in the day. Because you have to. You have to make the time for you. The next one is identify choice points. This is the one I have to read a little bit because I wasn't really sure what she meant by it. She says, by identifying a choice point, you can prime yourself to form good habits. If you want a peaceful wake-up routine, but as soon as you open your eyes, you reach for your phone and read an email, then the choice point is to leave your phone in another room. There you go. So you can make choices about what it is that you're doing, right? So if something is leading, or something in your area is leading to you demonstrating a bad behavior, or behavior that's not helpful or productive or helping you in any way, you can choose to limit that distraction or get it away from you completely, right? I mean, a lot of us have had to do that with our phones. Come on. Some of us are up all night long sometimes, scrolling through TikTok or reading whatever we're doing. We're just wasting time when we should be sleeping, when we should be recharging our batteries for tomorrow. So we have a choice, right? We can leave the phone somewhere else, or we can continue to engage in the bad behavior, right? But when something is becoming a bad behavior, the only way to do it out of sight, out of mind, right? I'm guilty too. I'm very guilty of it. Do it all the time. So we have a choice. We can establish the environment that we want to make sure that we're successful, right? Like for instance, if you're going on a diet, do you think that when you go shopping, would it be a smart idea to grab, 20 bags of Snickers on sale? No. Why? Why would that be helpful at all? Because they're on sale. I'm just grabbing them. No, you're going to challenge yourself every day how to stay away from that. Choose not to have it in your house. Choose not to have that in your space if you're trying to fight for your life, right? Trying to make sure it gets out of it, right? The same thing if somebody's a smoker, right? I'm trying to quit, but yet I bought a pack of cigarettes. Well, that doesn't help, right? It doesn't help. So just keep it out. Don't even bring it. Don't even bring it around you. Make sure that environment is set up for success. Number 8, build a routine. This is a pretty obvious one, and I did some stuff with a friend of mine, Carol. She's a spiritual coach. She does yoga and stuff like that. And she talked about morning routine and evening routines, and talked about, developing these routines are important. And they're important for multiple things. Number 1, in the morning, whether you're a morning person or not, morning to me is always a blur. It's a blur. It's like boom, 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 and then you're out of the house, and before you know it, you're back in the house, and you don't even know what you did in the morning. We need to make sure that we have enough time in the morning to engage in some kind of a routine that's for you, so that you can connect with you and try to figure it out, not just hustle and bustle. If you've got kids, you got to get up and get to school, or you got to, you're early for work, maybe get up a little bit earlier, or maybe make this ritual something that you do at night. But you need to be human and be in touch with yourself when you wake up in the morning, right? Not just wake up, hit the alarm, jump in the shower, and be this robot until you finish work, and then you can kind of think, what goes on now? And then pretty much the only thing on our mind at that point is a glass of wine when we get home. How many are guilty of that? We need a routine. We need something to do. So I mentioned earlier today that these past few weeks, I've been just kind of stepping back to see where my time has gone, right? Because I'm struggling trying to find time, how to keep up with this community online on TikTok, finish, do some videos and engage in some of that fun that I like to do. So I've just been stepping back to kind of see where it goes. And so right now I'm trying to make little tweaks, because on Monday and Wednesday evenings, I tend to find that I have a lot more downtime than any other day, and I'll start engaging in those behaviors I don't want to engage in anymore. The ones that are not good, the ones that I'm trying to rid out of my life, right? So I've recognized that. So now what I need to do is put something else in, some kind of a routine to replace that free time that I normally go south for me, right? So it's sort of just assessing what's going on and building a routine around what it is that you want to do. But you need to remember that you need to say hello to yourself in the morning. I know it sounds weird, but go to the mirror and say, good morning, beautiful, good morning, sunshine, and just smile at yourself. Try to get in touch with yourself. Don't just ignore that, right? A lot of us just quickly go through that morning routine. We just get out of the shower, we throw on clothes, we don't even look in the mirror when we go. And we just go because we're just not having it, right? Ready late, we're already stressed out, got to do this. But in the morning, I know it sounds silly, but you just need to acknowledge that you, number 1, made it another day. Number 2, you were given another day. And number 3, that you're going to make the best of this day that you can, because it could be your last. So don't forget to take that minute in the morning to just acknowledge yourself in the morning. Not just acknowledge yourself as a body moving around to get to work, but acknowledge yourself in the morning. So build a routine. You can also build evening routines too, right? Which is what I was saying I need to do on Mondays and Wednesday evenings, which I think will work out just nicely. So the next one, piggyback behaviors, right? I mentioned this a little bit earlier, the piggybacking of behaviors. So let's say you do want to start taking vitamins. Let's say you do want to start doing something new, right? The easiest way to do it is to attach it to something you already do, right? So for instance, let's say you already take, a pill at night before bed for whatever it is, right? So you'll put, wherever that pill is, you'll put the vitamins you want to take too. So you remember to take both because you're already doing the other one, right? You're already doing the other one. So if you put it near it and you do it and you just start grabbing it after the first few times, this will become a habit for you as well. And the whole point of this is to develop habits that last forever, right? Because when we want to make a change, like diet, like all this stuff, we want to make sure that it's sustainable and it lasts, and not be like it's good for a few weeks, then it goes away, and then you're trying to fight and get it back into, try to get it back on the bandwagon, and you fall off of it again. When you're falling off the bandwagon and when you're trying to introduce new things or change, it's because you're not doing it right. You're not doing any of these things that we're talking about right now. You're not envisioning yourself in this change, good enough. You're not making the tweaks, right? You're just expecting that it be this one-stop shop fix, like most of us do, especially when it comes to weight loss, being one example. So yeah. So piggyback them off of other behaviors. Try to be creative. Try to figure out what it is that you can do. The next is to make a pre-commitment. Make a pre-commitment. Anticipate obstacles. Yeah. Anticipate them. Always. Because they're going to happen. One thing is promised for sure. Another shoe is going to drop for everybody. Right? I mean, as much as we want to avoid it, as much as we want to know, something's going to happen while we're trying to make new behaviors and change, and that will throw you right off track immediately. So what can you do to make sure? Well, you plan for that. What happens if, right? What happens if this happens, right? What's my contingency? What am I going to do to make sure that I don't lose what I'm finding important, what I'm trying to do for me? What do I need to do? I need to make a pre-commitment. So we got to anticipate the obstacles and we need to prepare for the if-then. But not too much, because we can get so wrapped up. We can get so... Anyone out here like perfectionists? Perfectionists, right? Which is really not a good... It's not a strength, FYI. I just want everybody to know. Perfectionism is not a strength. It's actually a weakness. But if you're a perfectionist, you'll get so caught up trying to plan for those if-then statements that you'll never actually get started with the plan. You'd be so busy trying to figure out what it is that you missed because you want to be so thorough, right? Every single detail, every single thing, and you never actually even get started with what it is that you're trying to change, right? Everything that has to do with us needs to be actionable, right? Words mean nothing, right? Show me by your actions. Show by your actions, demonstrate by your actions that you are really meaning to do this, right? Because anything requires change. Next, gather your people. Everybody likes a cheering squad. Everybody does. So once you decide that you want to change something, whether it be, reduce the amount of alcohol, whether it be get to sleep better, whether it be stop smoking, stop this, whatever, diet, exercise, whatever it is that you're trying to change in life, right? This is really for these people who do these New Year's resolutions and we fail within the first month. I mean, a lot of us do. We've got to gather our people. We need our cheer squad. We need to be held accountable. Okay? So you tell these people what it is that you like to do, what's your goal, where you want to get to, explain how you're going to do it, and then you ask them, hey, would you mind? Would you mind helping me stay accountable? Would you mind? I'm sure they would. Most people are more invested in other people than they are in themselves, right? So I don't think you're going to have any shortage of people who are willing to help you make your change, right? Build a squad. Have a good coalition, a support system. Very important, a support system. Gather your people. And your people could be right here. Right here. Every Thursday, you'll see them. Your people could be right here. They may not even need to be somebody you know now, currently. It could be somebody just in general, Strike up a conversation. Share with somebody what you'd like to do. Check in with that person. Follow up with them. It's important. Stop thinking and act. This is my favorite one, right? I think I just said it. I basically just said it, right? We can get so caught up in planning for things that we never actually get started doing them, right? Stop thinking and just act. You know, a lot of times those of us who worry a lot or perfectionists want to make sure that we're doing this the right way and so forth, right? We tend to just think about things and we just overthink, and then we end up talking ourselves out of it. No, we don't want to do that. You don't want to talk yourself out of things. Certainly not. No. Stop thinking and act. Next, very important, reward yourself. Reward yourself. And I was mentioning that earlier, right? I was saying, you know, you need to celebrate your wins. No matter what they are, they're your wins, right? So if it's a personal best, make it a celebration. Anytime you do something that is adding or moving you towards developing this habit and practicing this new thing that you want to do, right? You got to reward yourself for each little milestone you make. You got to make sure that you make room for it. Our biggest mistake in life is how we set our goals, right? So I was saying earlier, most of our New Year's resolutions do never come to fruition. They just don't, but we like to do it as fun practice, I guess, right? But let's say you want to lose weight. We're going to use that example again, right? A lot of us are like, I want to lose 80 pounds, or I want to lose 150 pounds, or I want to lose, nobody's like, where's the person that wanted to lose 5 pounds? Where's that person? I'd love to find them, because none of us do that, right? Because the 5 pounds would be a hell of a lot easier than the 80 pounds. Make realistic goals. Start small. Our goal doesn't always have to be the end goal. Once we accomplish one goal, we can create another one that's still heading in the same direction, but it's incremental, and it'll give you room to celebrate. It'll give you room to celebrate. Over the next 3 months, I want to lose 5 pounds. That's much more realistic than, let's say, 100. Much more. And you'll be able to celebrate. And you'll continue to build up motivation and the will and desire to continue to do it and keep at it, because you're achieving your 5-pound goal. When you don't achieve the 50-pound goal, guess what? All you think about is how much you're a failure, right? How you're still not skinny. Pick and prod, make fun of yourself, call yourself fat. You do worse things than actual people do in public. And you're worried to go out in public because you're afraid of that reaction. Meanwhile, you're the one telling yourself that. So why is it okay for you to do it? It's not. You can't. You mean the only person in this world that could be nice to you is you, because that's the person you can control. But yet we spend most of our time beating ourselves up and telling ourselves we can't. Then we can. Why do we do that? It doesn't make sense, but we do. We're human. That's what happens. So we need to reward ourselves as we go. And then 15 is soak in the satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction right now. But we're getting satisfaction. That's what we're getting. So as you begin building your new habits, you must pause after implementing one of the behaviors you were aspiring to build and bask in it. Love it, right? So not only are we rewarding ourselves and celebrating, but we're also going to soak in that satisfaction. We're going to relish in it. We're going to love it. We're going to love it. That's what we need to do. Because when we do that, right, and we have a great feeling, that then breeds more motivation to continue to get back in the ring and keep things moving along. Keep going towards your goal. Keep moving forward. Right? So today we discussed some ways in which you can make long-lasting, sustainable change. You can do it. I know you can. All of you can. One thing is for sure. You're a pretty amazing person. The problem is that sometimes you just don't give yourself the credit. You don't allow yourself to relish. You don't allow yourself to see the impact you make, because it's not a Nobel Prize. It's not breaking a world record. It's not this, it's not that, it's not the other thing. Make it your own world record. Personal best. That's what matters in this world. Being better tomorrow than you were today. Baby steps. Not big. Doesn't have to be grand. It can be just a small step. I think one of the astronauts says, one small step, but one giant leap for mankind. It's exactly what we need to think. How we need to think. How we need to implement things. How we need to go about life. One small step is a leap for you. So don't tell yourself no. Don't tell yourself you can't. Because we all can start somewhere. We all can start with one small action that's in the step in our right direction to get us to exactly where we want to go. My biggest of all hugs to all of you. Unfortunately, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I won't be here. I'm away next week, but I will be back the following Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be more active when I come back to in February. That's my goal, at least. And I look forward to starting this book with you when we get back. So on our first session in 2 weeks, which is, what's 2 weeks date? It's the 2nd of February. We're going to do Unstoppable Self-Confidence, and we're going to go chapter by chapter each week from that. So my biggest of all hugs to you. You're all amazing, incredible human beings. Don't forget, you are beautiful, you are smart, you are kind, and you mean something. If you don't think that you mean something to anybody, know that you mean something to me. You're important, you are valued. I send you great big hugs. Much love. See you soon.